You're listening to the HUD Podcast, the official podcast for the Hudsonian newspaper at Hudson Valley Community College. An HVCC podcast for the students, by the students. Your news now. Get ready to enter the HUD.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the HUD, the official podcast for the Hudsonian newspaper at Hudson Valley Community College. I'm Samantha Simmons, broadcast editor for the Hudsonian. Today I have a few members of our e-board here with us, and we're just going to talk about what our goals are for this new semester and what we have going on with different sections of the paper and even the podcast. So I'd like to introduce Lomie Blum and Isabella Smarro and Nolan Cleary. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
How we doing?
I'm doing well. Just chilling and during break and reading and all that good stuff.
I'm awake. I took a shower, so I think I'm good.
That means it's a good day. Nolan, how are you?
I'm doing good.
All right. So we'll start with Lomie. Tell me what your position on the e-board is.
I am the news editor for the Hudsonian.
Isabella?
Yeah, so I'm the web editor, so that means I do the Instagram page, and pretty much what you see on the website is what I do.
Nice. Nolan?
I am the managing editor for the Hudsonian, which basically means I report to the editor-in-chief. I help the editor-in-chief out with whatever goals she needs accomplished, and I also help other e-board members out with whatever goals they need accomplished.
Tell me what your majors are here on campus at Hudson Valley.
So I'm in the theater degree, so acting. And yeah, that's pretty much it, just acting.
Is this your first year here at Hudson Valley?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2020 from high school, and I'm here.
All right. How about you, Lomie?
I am currently in the 24 credit hour program. I am hoping to go into the English department, and this is my first year at Hudson Valley. I left high school earlier, and I'm finishing my high school diploma here, getting those college credits and hoping to graduate college earlier.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that was a thing. Nolan, how about you?
I am currently in the individual studies program. I've been taking a smaller work course, so I've been here for a little while longer. I started back in fall 2018. I didn't join the Hudsonian until spring 2019. But yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing.
For your individual respective sections of the newspaper.
My personal goals for this semester is to really highlight the Hudson Valley area and Hudson Valley Community College and the people who go there and the stories that is happening within those places. I really just want to break news and inform students what's going on so that they can have knowledge on current events.
For me, specifically for the Instagram page, we do a lot of podcasts, which is wonderful, of course, but no one's really aware of the article specifically. So my goal is every day to have a specific purpose. So like Monday is meaningful quote, Tuesday is TV review, and then so on. So it looks nice, but it also has purpose and people can be informed about it. And then for the website itself, keep doing what we've been doing, just kind of make it look more nice, more good looking, I guess.
Okay.
For me, obviously my job as managing editor is to, help people out when they need it, but mostly just give them the resources they need to accomplish. And one goal I know Abigail has, which I'm going to try and help her out with, is to try and increase, membership for the Hudsonian. Right now, we could potentially be on the verge of getting a full e-board at one point, which would be a big deal. We did have a full e-board for a brief time during the spring 2020 semester prior to COVID. And it would be a really great thing if we had a full e-board again. And for those wondering, right now it looks like the positions that are going to be open for the Hudsonian this semester include layout editor, copy editor, sports editor, business editor, and photo editor. And we're also looking for juniors this semester to other positions. So if anybody wants to do that, feel free to talk to us about that.
So I know most of you were involved previous or prior to COVID, but so even though we can't really be on campus working together as if like, you know, things were normal, did you guys have anything that you like really enjoyed about our last semester, fall 2020? Meeting over Zoom, was it a little bit difficult? Did you think it was hard to adapt to the like newsroom environment, even though we weren't really there?
For me, I think meeting on Zoom was easy. I think the miscommunication, like I have a phone, but I'm not on it constantly. So I would get the text right away and it would be like a day late. And I'm like, oh shoot, oh, I'm missing it. Or there were moments when like I knew when I got my position, I would pretty much go right away, but I didn't know that I would be actually uploading the articles on the website right away, and I didn't know what day. So I saw people doing that, and I'm like, wait, that's my job. She was like, no,
Right.
I'll teach you how to do it, and you can start it right away, pretty much.
Yeah.
Of course, during break, I've taken the break, and I've been preparing, finding quotes, organizing everything so I don't have to worry about it when we start back up next week. But it was definitely kind of like an awakening almost. I'm like, oh, I can't just join and hope that one day, can't wait for one day to do it. I have to start my job when I got elected. And I wasn't aware of that right away, but now I feel more prepared for that.
I kind of felt the same way about it. I think I just like wasn't ready. I was like excited for the opportunity, but I didn't know what this opportunity actually was. I was like, yeah, you know, this sounds super cool. Like I'd go to work and be like, okay, guys, I have a meeting, so I'm gonna just like be in the back. I know like I'm at work on the clock, but if you just give me like 10, 15 minutes, like just get to this meeting, just so I can like learn more. But yeah, I kind of felt the same way, but like I'm kind of more like a little bit in hone with it now. Nolan's been helping me out a lot over this break, so we're really working on it here. How about you, Lomie?
Yeah, I actually really feel the same way. I've had to get better at checking my emails and texts and all that stuff because I'm really never on my phone or my computer unless I have to be. I also just had to get used to the more Zoom format and communicating over Zoom to actually get work done.
Yeah. Well, for me now, when we started the last semester, we started with a 3 e-board staff. It was just Abigail as editor-in-chief, I as managing editor, and Stephen as our layout editor at the time. And the 3 of us were kind of considered throughout the semester, we're kind of considered the 3 stalwarts, if you will, of the paper. We had all been around the longest. But it was especially weird for me because, every semester I remembered, going into the newsroom, we'd actually have a physical copy, that people could actually hold in your hands and read and flip. We would spend a lot of time in the newsroom. There was usually a lot more engagement. Obviously, we got more engagement towards the end of the semester, but at the beginning, we were very short-staffed. So for me, and I think probably Abigail and Stephen as well, it was definitely a big transition to go through. I think you get used to it after a while, but it was definitely a big thing when we started.
So for you, Nolan, because you were a part of the Hudsonian before, and you really are like, you know, the founder of this podcast. I guess I'll put it. You started
I
it,
mean,
got
I'm
it all
not
in the
the
works.
founder per se, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you worked on it, you know, long time in the making here. Do you think that, not quality wise, because I don't want to like, you know, hate on anyone's work, but do you think that the types of stories that we're getting, that we got this past semester, do you think it was different than what would have been produced if we had been on campus as if it were, you know,
Oh,
normal semester?
oh, certainly, certainly. The thing about last semester, in terms of just the news in general, was the news mainly centered around COVID. It wasn't the only
Mm-hmm.
story. There were other stories that were happening, but it was mainly COVID. How is COVID affecting students? How is COVID affecting the budget? How is this? In a regular semester, I think the Hudsonian would probably how do I say this? Be more controversial and more conventional in a news sense.
Mm-hmm.
In most semesters, when it comes to news, certainly for a short time, I was the news editor. During that time, a lot of the news I had to deal with was drama based news. It was, oh, you know, what's going on here? What is this employee saying? What's that employee saying? Now that COVID is starting to die down a little bit, and you know we are starting to get some vaccines, we are starting
Mm-hmm.
to get some more drama-filled stories. I know Lomie and I were working on the story involving some of the cameras on campus.
Yeah.
But certainly last semester it was not the same in terms of news. It was definitely a shift in the format of news. But hopefully, I think we are going to return to a sense. It looks like we will return to at least some sense of normalcy this semester.
Yeah.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it was interesting because I have a lot of health issues. So like if someone gets COVID, they get sick. But if I get COVID, I get really sick. Like so I haven't been anywhere. Like I don't go anywhere, only outside. And it was interesting to read like reviews of restaurants and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, people are still doing that. People are still
Mm-hmm.
going out and eating and stuff. It was just interesting to learn that like for some people their lives are completely like at home you're doing this. And then I
Mm-hmm.
have friends who still go to college, still go do stuff, see their friends. And it was interesting to see that in the articles we were reading. It was
Mm-hmm.
specifically showing that live people's lives are completely different and no one's exactly the same. And it was
Right.
interesting to see how COVID's somewhat affecting people and has it affected other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I add on
was
to that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
Yeah. This is not the same as being sick, but or having health issues. But I recently moved upstate from New York City, and it's interesting because I haven't really been able to go outside or meet people because everything is closed and people are staying inside. And personally, I am very COVID conscious, and I think it's safer to be inside more and be in your own little circle. But so it's been interesting because it's like, oh, usually I would be on campus if this was normal and I could actually meet new people, but I can't because of this pandemic. And I have to say, I've met the most new people being part of the Hudsonian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I agree. Like, obviously, I didn't know any of you before. I don't think I've ever even seen any of you on campus for, you know, like Lomie and Isabella, this is your first semester. And Nolan, I don't think I'd ever seen you before.
Mhm.
But, you know, now like I'm chatting with Nolan almost every day
Yeah.
and texting with you guys on Viber and stuff and emailing you.
Me and you
Right,
just
we wanted
did
a
an
story
article.
together.
Yeah.
Right, like you like connections you wouldn't think you would make, but you know, obviously, you know, we have the opportunity to do so, and I think that's really nice, especially at a community college, because I know it gets the rap that, you know, you don't get the college experience that other kids get who go away, or if they're just like on a 4-year campus, whereas we don't really have kids that live on campus or anything. We have student housing, but it's nowhere near the same as living in a dorm. So you do your classes, you stay and study if you can, and then you go home, and that's really it. But I think being a part of clubs and being able to be a little bit social, even on Zoom and through emails and on projects and stuff, I think it's a nice way to just meet people, especially right now, since we're barely seeing people we already know.
Clubs are definitely the reason why I survived my first semester. With the disabilities I had, I showed up that my high school didn't do so well teaching me what college was, so I came into college like, whoa, this is a lot. And I was struggling, and I didn't have any friends. And then I joined like 5 different clubs, and I'm like, boom, 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 I have friends. Like, I'm meeting people. It's only because of those clubs, especially this club, where I'm not just meeting people. I have stuff I have to do, which gives me a purpose in my free time. So I definitely think that clubs, especially this club, kind of saved my life.
Now that we're in the swing of things and how our positions roll for the Hudsonian, do you guys have any ambitions that you want to do with your section of the newspaper other than, like you said, Isabella, making the website a little bit more pleasable to the eye? Do you have any other ambitions going on for this?
I think for me is that I have a goal of what I want to be when I grow up, but I'm very open to it. So
what's that goal?
Well, I like to say I have a dream and I have a realistic goal. My dream is I write plays and poems, and I want them to be in movies, like a movie based on those. But realistically, I want to teach high school acting. But I don't join clubs just for fun. I join specific clubs that will help me in the future. I'm vice president of the theater club. Not just because it's fun, but if I want to go into acting in a career, you join the acting club. It makes sense.
Right.
And I feel like with this club, I'm getting educated in the terminology, how to take responsibility. Like if I want to teach acting, I'm gonna have to lead. So this is a wonderful opportunity that I have to lead in my job role. So it teaches me how to take those leading skills, again, learning vocabulary that I've never known, communicating with people. And who knows? I don't really like my job right now. If I find a new one in the newspaper company, like the Daily Gazette or something, I'm educated. I know what I have to do. So clubs, I'm taking what I can. And of course, I'm enjoying myself. Like I wouldn't join a club if I hate it. Like, of course, I love this club and I love the clubs I'm in. But I'm in the clubs that also take that knowledge, so I'm prepared after college. I'm not just like, what do I do now? I know what I do.
Right.
My ambitions, I guess, I'm a musician. I had a music project called Double Victor, and before COVID, I was planning on playing shows and doing all that stuff. Sadly, that all vanished. But I'm also a writer, and I love to write, whether it's poetry or short stories or really anything. And I think being part of and being the news editor for the Hudsonian has really taught me and really helped me hone in my craft of writing in a way. Even though it's different from creative writing and it's different from poetry, it's made me a better writer overall because it's taught me how to write in this specific style that I can implement into other things, such as songwriting or such as poetry or such as short story writing. And I've been really enjoying it. I'm still working on music, but it's just not the same as it would have been if there wasn't a pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I guess the biggest thing, obviously, I report to Abigail and I report to the other editors. My biggest thing is just to, help expand the paper this semester. in whichever way, assist the editors with their ambitions. And yeah, that's mainly what I'm out to do this semester.
Same for me as the, being broadcast editor. I'm pretty excited to have, you guys on the podcast and kind of just make it like a big old group thing for now. Specifically like this episode. And we did an episode with Kevin Conley, a staff writer for the Hudsonian. So I think it's nice to just tie everything in with the community of the Hudsonian and eventually staff at Hudson Valley too. And so I'd like to finish this off by saying elections are held at the end of spring semester. So I'm not returning because this is my last semester. You guys are, if you get your position back, great. But do you have any advice for if we get any junior editors in your spots too?
My advice would be to be bold and just take the risk. I, at first, was very hesitant about being news editor, and Abigail really encouraged me to do it, and I'm really glad I took that risk and just went for it because I really love doing it. So just be bold.
For me, I would say, like, if you join the high school club, you're just there, you're participating and having fun. But this is college, and it's kind of like a second job. You gotta do your part, it's not gonna happen. Like with web editor, if I don't post something on the article, no one's gonna really do it because that's not their job. It's my job to do it. So coming in, they need to know, yeah, we're here to have fun, of course. If you sign up to take a role, you have to do it. You have to do it 100%. And it will take time, it will take effort. But it also teaches you, because you're growing up and these kids may be 18 just out of high school, it teaches them how being an adult is. You have responsibilities, you have roles. So this club prepares you for it. So kind of take it and use it so you can improve as a human, so you're prepared for adulthood.
For me, I guess my advice to anyone who took over in the position of managing editor, I guess my biggest thing is, the biggest thing you have to know about being managing editor, the biggest responsibility is you've got to help the editors and the editor-in-chief out whenever they need it, but you also have to be willing to give them space to work on by themselves. So if they need help and they need assistance, be on standby. Say, okay, I'll come in, I'll help you. What can I help with? But don't step in and say, oh, well, here, I'll just do this for you, I'll just do this for you, I'll just do this for you. Still be able to give them space so they can still do the job on their own.
And I'd say, for my position, no idea is a dumb idea. Everything might have a space somewhere. Maybe it doesn't, but, you just have to say it out loud so other people can hear your ideas, and they'll tell you if it's dumb. So I think that's probably my best advice. So thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck this semester.
Thanks.
Thanks, same to you.
Thank you.
To read more about the following stories, make sure to head over to thehudsonian.org for the latest on-campus news from the Hudsonian, and make sure to listen to new episodes of The Hud every Monday.